Be a big.
On today's show, no, this guy isn't a rock star, but in Minnesota fishing terms, he's close. Tag along with us and his fans as they cheer on the local guy. Next, no one takes waterfowl habitat as seriously as these folks, and they're right in Hopkins, Minnesota. Learn more about the Minnesota Waterfowl Association and their cause.
You've got that big long reach.
And our walk in the park this week features all the things we love about a park: trails, camping, hiking, and a bison herd. Our Minnesota Bound Classic this week is in the spirit of the fall season. We visit Pinehaven.
3, 2.
You'll want to go too. Those stories and more next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's Select GMC dealers.
Hi everybody, Raven and I welcome you to the show. Minnesota has a new fishing hero. Yes, hero. And as all heroes have, a fan club. And they call themselves the Mullet Militia. Bill Shirk has the story.
To think, fishing's biggest stage right here in the heart of Minnesota.
A brand new leader.
50 of the world's best-known bass pros tackling our Mille Lacs Lake.
Just to add to that here today.
No doubt, an event this big attracts a crowd. But in a sea of people, one name grabs our hearts and our hair. Yep, the guy with the flow.
The last 2 weeks of my life have been pretty crazy.
Let me explain. Seth Feider over there is Minnesota's only angler to qualify for the Bass Championship Tournament.
What do you mean? I know that.
The rules are simple enough. One angler, one boat,
He's hooked up.
and in Seth's case, one giant gallery.
1, 2, 3, 4, 70, 18, 19, 20. Rough estimate, 50, 60 people at least.
Yep, the hometown guy attracts attention. With one extra hairy detail.
I better find my mullet.
Seth's friend explains.
Since he's in contention to win here, we're going to put on our lucky mullets for him and hope he wins another one.
Seems hair breeds hope.
I'm not that good at this, but hey, how do I look?
There are people around here with mullets everywhere. It's great.
We're just all his good friends, and we're here to support him, man.
There's our boy James. We bought him a mullet too. Well, it's his hair, man. It's his flow. It's his style.
Exactly why Adam Bartuzik opted to go Seth blonde.
We bought out the Coon Rapids Walmart in Wiggs, Halloween aisle.
Fans keep a safe distance in boats and just watch the pro anglers work. Except when the wind blows.
You eat a lot more hair than you would really think you do.
It looks like he's hooked up right now.
We all know him. We all want to cheer for him. He's the Minnesota boy. And plus, you want to see giant smallmouth. Be a big.
Oh, Seth has no problem with that.
That's Mr. Big right there.
Every time he does this,
Yeah.
the hairballs do this.
There's nothing cooler than catching a big and holding it up and everybody screaming their heads off.
Just one problem when you cheer for a guy like Seth.
5 pounder.
Eventually, the horn loses steam.
Oh no, is she running out? Oh, the live well's full.
I mean, when you have your good friends cheering for you like that, it brings you a different level, man.
Another level, that's accurate.
Are you guys ready? Let me hear from the Mullet Maniacs, the amazing fighter man, Seth Feider!
In 3 days of fishing,
You gotta be kidding me. 24 pounds?
Seth Feider blew out the competition and won the biggest tournament around. Suppose that's why so many people suddenly want a piece of Minnesota's mullet man. For the record, Seth's good with it.
Is it weird to have everyone focused on you?
Kinda.
Like that guy?
Kinda. I don't really like attention that much, but it's fun.
Better get used to it, mullet man.
Coming up, this office in Hopkins, Minnesota comes complete with decoys, guns, and yes, duck memorabilia galore.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers, Ice Force, Star Bank, Radco Truck Accessories, and by Evinrude, the official outboard motor of Minnesota Bound.
Welcome back. You know, one of the environmental battles going on in Minnesota is saving our wetlands or restoring those that have been drained. An organization that has been at the front of this battle is called the Minnesota Waterfowl Association, a fascinating history that continues on. Oh, is it nice? Minnesotans love their walleye.
Yes. Good deal.
We all knew that. So what's next on the list of Minnesota outdoor passion? Mark, you heard it, it's this. Duck quacks and rushing wings and guarding decoys at dawn. Code word waterfowling. And for more than a century, Minnesota has been one of the nation's top hunting states to bag a duck or drop a goose. No state attracted more hunters. But that was then. Today in Minnesota, the number of ducks in the sky are fewer. The number of hunters waiting below also have declined considerably. So who's fighting to preserve the state's waterfowling tradition? They are the Minnesota Waterfowl Association. One of the fighters, John Schroers.
My dad and his buddy said, you got to give something back. That was the late 70s and the 80s, and I took it to heart. Dad said, enjoy it now, boys, and look around. You've got to give something back.
Executive Director, Brad Nyland.
We're a habitat and education organization, and the third leg of that would be legislative piece. It started in 1967 in Albert Lea, Minnesota. Basically, the concern was that there was not enough wetlands, and the wetlands that we had were in poor shape. The sort of battle cry, if you will, was save the game lakes, and that was started by the shallow lakes in Minnesota were just not being managed.
Today, with offices in Hopkins, the association coordinates habitat projects with its 11 chapters located largely in southern Minnesota.
We have a lot of accomplishments. Some things are very easy to say we've done, and other things are not. We've done really great things with habitat, whether it be shallow lake management, or upland management, or acquiring land, storing wetlands, restoring grasslands, the whole gamut around waterfowl needs in general.
In addition to creating ducks, the association's other goal is creating duck hunters.
We've got to get our kids involved, we've got to get our neighbor kids involved, we've got to do more that way. But I think ultimately it comes down to the exposure.
For years, the association has operated something called Woody Camp to introduce youngsters to waterfowling and wing shooting. The camp is located at the Prairie Wetlands Educational Center in Fergus Falls.
Woody Camp is free of charge. We go out and raise money for that.
I got a pretty good introduction to the Minnesota Waterfowl Association as a woody camper almost 11 years ago now. That grabbed me right away. I think the future of waterfowling and MWA, I think it's going to be whatever we can make it.
Everything that we do as hunters basically goes toward the future of hunting. And I think as hunters in general, we want to be able to have a stake in that.
The waterfowling tradition also needs to be passed on, which may explain why the association's headquarters in Hopkins is actually a museum. open to the public.
We have duck boats. We have a full duck shack wall behind me. We have decoys. We have old duck and goose calls.
Memories from the marsh from days gone by. Duck hunters from another time, all hooked on the joy of dawns and ducks, decoys and dogs, and a connection to nature that is not common today.
The real reconnect with nature is such an important piece because in this instant world that we live in, if you're just going down the road and, from asphalt to asphalt, there's no connection to the land.
Every generation learns, sometimes too late. To forward the joys of life, you gotta give something back. Coming up, visit a state park that has several surprises, and it's just not wildflowers.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Connecticut.
Time now for another walk in the park as we feature one of Minnesota's beautiful state parks. This time we're going to Blue Mounds, a new home for wild buffalo as well.
People who visit this park love to talk about the bison, especially after they've seen them. They're really surprised at how big they are, how many there is in the park. The park opened in the late 30s after the WPA created 2 lake impoundments at the park here. Blue Mounds got its name when the settlers were traveling west. They saw the cliff with lichen on it and they looked blue to the settlers and they called it Blue Mound. The fall is a good time to visit for hiking the 12.5 miles of hiking trail. It's a little bit cooler on top of the prairie. The temperatures are a little bit more acceptable. We also have a bike trail that travels 6 miles into the city of Laverne. People come to Blue Mounds State Park, number one, to see our bison herd. It's a unique herd in the terms of that it's 100% pure genetics. There's no cattle genes found in our bison herd here at Blue Mounds State Park. Yeah, bison are part of the prairie landscape and they affect the ecosystem in a positive way. And they are able to move through that 534 acres as a group. They graze as a group, they never separate, they like to be with each other. And the lifespan of a bison is probably in captivity close to 20-some years. We do have a female cow, which we call Puddin', is 24 years old, and she will end up living and dying here on this prairie landscape. I think people love to see the bison because it reminds them of the stories they've heard about having hundreds of thousands of bison on the American plains, including the northern central plains here in Minnesota. The historic quarry is neat for the public because they can walk up into the quarry. It has 90-foot walls shaped in a horseshoe.
Hold on to the rock, not the rope. Stand up. Yep. Keep going.
There's a lot of rock climbing that goes on here. There's 1.5 miles of cliff line, and along that 1.5 miles, there's designated 4 good areas for rock climbers to climb.
This is Jasper's dihedral. It's a 5/8 but 3 stars out of 4, meaning that it's just it's fun to do. There are lots of good handholds, good foot placement. A little bit of a challenge when you get up near there. Oh, you've got that big long reach.
The climbs are fairly technical and they're a challenge to the climbers in the area, and we get climbers all the way from Omaha, Fargo, the Twin Cities that come here just because they want to climb the Blue Mounds cliff line.
Want to look around again, enjoy the view. Once again, you just flew up that.
The cliff line is a great place for rock climbers to climb in the park, and we usually get about 1,000 climbers a year. Blue Mound State Park is a beautiful place to come. You can experience it in all 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter.
Get it nice and soapy. And we push our pumpkin all the way into our barrel.
And next, it's all about fall on the farm, complete with pumpkins and pumpkin cannons.
Whoa! Way out there!
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Borderview Lodge, Ellsworth Creamery, and by Totem Resorts.
Time now for our Minnesota Bound Classic, and of course it's the pumpkin season as I speak to you. We're going to a place called Pinehaven Farms who have found a new use for pumpkins.
You know, I think people in Minnesota anyway really love fall.
It's my favorite season, yeah. I like all the leaves and I like the colder temperatures and yeah.
And there's something special about a farm in the fall.
Hey, oh. Can you say goat?
Puppy. Well, we're out at Pinehaven Farm in Wyoming, Minnesota, where we do our Antique Farm and Harvest Festival every fall.
Let's see both of them now, see?
And we have just tons and tons of family fun stuff here.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, you know, it's cheap and you got the best petting zoo in the area.
Hey, what's that thing? What's that thing?
She was up there looking at us, Trish?
Look at him, he's huge.
What do you think, Sam? Did you like the petting zoo?
Yeah.
Just so many good, fun outdoor things to do, ways to celebrate fall in Minnesota out on the farm.
We all love the animals and we love the cannon.
We go out to our pumpkin fields and we look for some nice, round, solid pumpkins.
I think the pumpkins fly here.
We just set it right in the end of our barrel here.
How far do you think it's going to go?
The bullseye.
Where?
The bullseye?
Oh, I think it's going to go farther than that.
Get it nice and soapy. And we push our pumpkin all the way into our barrel.
Always got to push it down and get it way down there.
I think it's really cool, yeah. Oh my gosh, there it goes, way up in the air.
People, well, it's just gonna go 100 yards, 200 yards, maybe 2 football fields.
How far do you think it's gonna go, Sam?
When they see it come out, I mean, you hear people swear that don't usually swear.
Now this pumpkin here will not fly without you guys making some noise, all right?
All right. Let's go.
Here we go.
10,
9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! Way out there! Look at how far that went, Sam. Wow, I didn't expect it to go that far. That was amazing.
That's cool. That's cool.
After 4 years, I still love telling people about it. I still love watching it.
I wouldn't mind seeing another one.
Brings the whole family out there. Really enjoy it.
It's a way to celebrate the season.
Wow. Will Halloween ever be the same? Don't know. Well, that about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Sharon. Of course, always the star of the show knows who she is. Right, Raven?
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800 899-7433. For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com.